All right, well, hello Team E2. Welcome to our bi-weekly ET Project Live. Great to be back with you. As you know, 2 weeks ago we had our live panel discussion with our panel of experts talking about communication. We had people from spy recruiting, we had hostage negotiators, we had psychological, organizational psychologists, and my humble self, of course, talking about communication. So today what I wanted to do was a little bit of a wrap on the first 5 months of 2023. And it's been a huge 5 months for us. In June, we're going to take a little bit of a pause to regroup and regather. And then in July, we'll be back with the next program right through to Christmas at the end of the year. So I just thought today we would take the opportunity, we'd recap on what we've covered so far, and then look at what's still to come. So as you can see, it's called Leading Beyond, and that's essentially what we're going to be doing. So first part, we'll look at what's just gone. Second part, we'll look at what's still to come. Okay, so let's jump straight into it. So as you can see, the first part is what's already been, and it's been huge. It's been one of the biggest 5 months. Excuse me. I've lost my voice. I've been talking that much over the 5 months. It's been huge. It's been fantastic. It's been a journey. It's been an incredible learning opportunity for us at Coaching for Companies as much as it has been for our participants. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been on board with us, that's supported us on this journey so far. There's plenty more still to come, but it's been fantastic to meet with so many of you, to understand the journey that you're on, and to see how we can support you and help you on that journey. So if we look at where we started in January, I'm not going to go in detail on this slide because I've got slides for each one of these, but as you can see, 5 different topics. And the routine that we've introduced is that every 3 months we cycle. So month 1, we do a challenge. Month 2, we do a mastermind. Month 3, we do a coaching program. And then we repeat. So you can see month 1, we did our first challenge for the year, which was a 5-day challenge. Month 2, we did our first mastermind for the year. Month 3, we did our first coaching program, our transformational talent coaching program, and then we started again. So let's have a look at what they were in detail. And as you can see, the first one up on the screen is really quite incredible what was put together by our team and rolled out. So it was a 5-day challenge. What a way to start the year. A 5-day challenge, 1 hour per day for 5 days, looking at this topic called Learn New Ways to Maximize Your Stakeholder. Now, if you know me at all, you know that I'm super engaged on this topic of value creation, and in particular for our stakeholders. So what better way to kick the year off than looking at this specific topic, talking around how can you as an individual, how can you as a company employee, how can you identify those core primary stakeholders and really up your game to bring more value for them. Now, of course, the benefits are numerous, and during these 5 days, we covered a lot of those benefits. Not only did we cover the benefits, but we also covered many tools and techniques and processes that you can take away and apply immediately after completing that challenge. Now, for all of our challenges, our quarterly challenges, we offer it free. So that's the first incredible thing. You get an enormous value package absolutely free. The only thing it costs you is your time. You have to register. And then the moment you register, you get a free intro or primer package of videos and ebooks to get your mind in the right space. And then after that, you have this detailed workbook that is really all about giving you the theory, but also giving you the exercises, excuse me, that you can then take away and put into practice outside of this challenge. So it was massive, right? And in hindsight, it was probably too big. It was exhausting for our team, but the feedback was it was probably too intense for a simple 1 hour, 5 days worth of challenges. And so come around next year and we'll probably water it down just a little bit. We may not take any of the content away, but we may not cover as much in detail during the actual live workshops. So as you can see, there you have it. All right. So second up, we moved from the quarterly challenge to our first mastermind. And as we promote, the mastermind is immersive, but it's also intense. So all of our activities are not for the faint of heart. So if you do decide to join us when they come around next time or for the next ones to come, then please keep in mind, we are 100% committed to working beside you, partnering with you, co-creating with you, but you're going to have to work. This is not a free meal ticket. This is something that we're passionate about, and we want those people to join us that are also passionate about wanting to transition and transform their own career to that next level. That's what we're all about. And in this mastermind, all our masterminds are the same price. They cost $599 US. And for that, you get an inordinate amount of material. You get 4 2-hour live workshops. You get coaching calls. You have videos. You have pre and post work. There's an extraordinary amount of value, we believe, right? So we're all about value creation. So there's an extraordinary amount of value we believe that we offer in all of the products that we provide for you. And that's actually our promise. Our coaching company's promise is that we provide excellence. We provide excellence in the product quality, in the services we offer, and in the results you achieve. And therefore, we want to over-deliver on that promise. And as a result of that, everything we develop and design and provide, we really don't hold back. All right, so our first mastermind, as you can see, was called Mastering Success Behaviors. So we cover 4 topics. We have 4 workshops, 2 hours each. And in the first one we did in February, this one we did in February, we covered that over 2 Saturdays. So we did 2 sessions the first Saturday, 2 sessions the second Saturday. And then we had follow-up coaching call afterwards, a few weeks after, 2 weeks after. So you get a huge workbook. I think for this one, it was something like a 95-page workbook. Now, this is not just a booklet that you read. This is engaging. You have to do exercises in the workbook. You have to follow along. You have to adopt the hand-eye-brain coordination element. Identify your takeaways. What are those needle movers going to be? Right. So first one, massive. Right. It was incredible. So many learnings for us. So many learnings for our participants. What I really enjoyed was when we came back 2 weeks later and we met with the 20 participants again, the actions that they'd taken, the stories that they were able to share with us was really heartwarming, really enjoyable to hear and see the excitement in the voices and on the faces of those people that participated, and the transition that they're making through those actions that they're taking. So that was month number 2. That was February. Then from February, we moved into the first of our transformational talent coaching programs. Now, as I said, we want to provide value for you. And this transformational talent coaching program, again, this is not a cheap program. This is a 10-week, very intensive, immersive program for those people, and we only accept 15 people maximum in our coaching programs, because we want to make sure that wherever they're being conducted around the world, that the coach that's delivering and facilitating these workshops is able to provide that focus and attention on each of the participants. So in this case, 10-week program. In actual fact, for this one, for the one that I conducted, I think we're just, oh yes, today is our masterclass. Right after this program, we have our 3rd masterclass. Now in this program, we have 3 masterclasses, one at the end of each 3 weeks. And today we have a 3-hour masterclass. So the other 2 are 2 hours each. We have live group coaching every week of this coaching program. You have 10 individual, actually it's more than 10, it's 12. You have a workbook for each week. We cover one topic per week. You get a workbook for each masterclass, and basically the masterclass purpose is to take the 3 weeks worth of learnings and bring it all together so that you can actually put an action plan into place. So you can build your blueprint using those 3 topics that we covered prior to the masterclass, and actually build that blueprint. And by the end of it today, those people that attended this one, by the end of today, you're going to have a blueprint that not only will serve you in the immediate future, right? And what we're all about here with this particular one is we're working with emerging talent. So these are people that may have been in a leadership capacity for the last 6 months, perhaps up to 2 or 3 years. So you've been working as a manager leader for that period of time, and you're ready to transition. You're ready to make that next career transition. And what we cover in this particular program is we look at the 9 essentials that you need to have in your arsenal, in your toolkit, to take away with you. And not only the skills and the awareness of the skills, but the blueprint around how you use it. And for anyone that's been through it, I'm sure you're going to attest that while the topics themselves may be commonplace, our approach is anything but ordinary. So we, in the second set of 9, in topics 4, 5, and 6, we incorporate our learnings that come out of the gaming. And we look at how you can incorporate as a leader the principles that have made the gaming world so successful, and how you can bring that to your own leadership ability, your methodology, and apply it with your team. All right. So it's a fantastic program. I'm not going to go through each of the topics. If you want to read more, you'll find it on our website. But great program. Final masterclass today. It doesn't finish there, however. This is week 10, by the way, for this particular program. But it doesn't stop there. So for the next 3 weeks, these 15 participants are going to be working on this blueprint that they've developed. They're going to be completing 3 different challenges, one each week for the next 3 weeks, to make sure that they take that blueprint and they actually launch into this transition for their career. So they apply that learning through these challenges, and it's quite an extraordinary journey that they go on. So really excited to finish off this masterclass today. And of course, like we do with all of our programs, particularly the paid programs, we have a follow-up group coaching call several weeks later, in this case 1 month later, to see if there's any questions. If you're struggling with anything, you always have our contact details to be able to connect with us. But we come together as a group, we share the success stories, we talk about some of the struggles and some of the challenges several weeks after the end of the actual program. So even though we talk about it being a 10-week program, it's actually a 14-week or 13, 14-week program. So again, incredible value, fantastic program. This one's called Excel in the Essentials, Know Your Game Plan. I've used this program myself throughout my own career, as well as that this was for emerging, what we call emerging, like I said, a leader or a manager that's been working in that capacity for maybe 6 to 2 years, 3 years, and you're at that point where you're ready to make that transition to the next level, which is middle level management. And you'll see we offer 3 tiers in our talent coaching programs. Emerging talent, this one, we then have a middle level talent program to talk about, and then we have the senior executive program, which is the 3rd tier. So that's what we are working through at the moment, coming to the end of. We have the masterclass coming up today. From there, that was in March. We launched that. Excuse me, my throat's going to really be testing me by the end of the 3 hours in the masterclass. All right, so then into April. And in April, we launched our second challenge. Now, our second challenge was a 3-day challenge. So during the year, we run 2-day, 3-day, a 4-day, and a 5-day challenge. So each quarter, we have a challenge. And the first one, as I said, was super massive in terms of content, in terms of the amount of information that was shared, the amount of work that participants got engaged with. This one is a 3-day program. And this one I really love because it's all about storytelling. So it's all about tapping into that inner self and sharing your knowledge or whatever it is you need to do, whether it's through change, whatever it is, if you're running a project, but it's incorporating story into that activity. And the reason we talk about this is because you'll see coming up in the next mastermind, we introduce the broader topic of communication. So storytelling is a portion of communication. So we try and stack these programs so that they have a logical sequential element to them. So storytelling is a really nice starting point to ease you into the broader topic of communication, but it's a super important element for all leaders. And so this 3-day ultimate challenge that we talk about around learning 3 secrets to influencing change outcomes through story. Now, we picked change as the topic because we wanted to, and we always provide a case study with our challenges, and we wanted to give you something to be able to associate the theory to the application. So we chose change outcomes. You can apply it to anything, however, whether it's running a team meeting, whether it's conducting a live event, whether it's managing a project, whatever it might be, using story to be able to introduce, to be able to address the concerns, to be able to paint the vision. Story is a great mechanism. And so during this challenge, we introduced a number of the methodologies that are used across different industries. And of course, the entertainment industry is one of the most well known for storytelling. We spoke about the Pixar model. We spoke about the Disney model. We spoke about a whole raft of different models. The hero's journey, right, is a very popular methodology. Now, we introduced the 3-act model because of its simplicity, but it also associates very nicely to us as leaders. And that's what we introduce in this challenge. So again, huge in terms of value that you get. Remember, this is totally free. Everything you get from this, you can get absolutely free. Now, in all of our challenges, we offer the option for you to engage as a VIP. All right. So I think the cost is about $59 US. If you want to become a VIP and come through and get a more in-depth inside perspective, you work with me and the group of VIPs that join up as VIPs. You have direct access with me. We do additional things to what those in the free group do. You get additional content, you get a certificate, etc. All right, so there's added value basically for coming on board as a VIP. But again, so great watching people transform. I really love it. It makes all of the work we do so worth it. It's so incredible. All right, so that was April. Then in the month of May, just finishing right now, last day of May. So this was our program that we released for May. It's a virtual mastermind. So we follow the same format as we did in the month of February with our virtual mastermind, but this time, because of the demand, we agreed to run 2 piggyback programs, meaning in 2 different time zones, which enabled us to serve our large listener and audience base and follower base in India, as well as serve our Asian base. So we ran it over 2 different time frames. For the Indian team, we ran it in the evenings, 4 consecutive days in the evenings. So each evening a 2-hour workshop. And for the Asian team, we ran it like we did in February. So we did 2 2-hour workshops across 2 Saturdays. And the last Saturday hasn't come yet. It's this coming Saturday. So we'll finish the Asian group this Saturday. The Indian group have already finished. And then, of course, we will have a group coaching call follow-up in a couple of weeks. So really interesting. What I look forward to in these group calls is just to hear the feedback from people, to understand if they have questions, and to really get a feeling for what can we do different next time? How can we make improvements on what we did this time? You know, we put a lot of effort into tweaking, refining, and reinventing the content. And one of the great ways, of course, is you've got to get the feedback. And that, of course, is one of the things we teach in our programs, is for leaders to seek feedback. So we have to practice what we preach, and that's one way that we do it. So in this one, communication is a core strength. As I said, we stack these topics. So in April, in our 3-day challenge, the topic of storytelling. Now we come to the broader topic and we go deeper into the topic of communications. Now, when we talk about communications in this program, we introduce 8 essential elements of communication. Not the only elements, but 8 critical ones that we've chosen. We don't cover all 8 in the workshops, but we go into the first 4 in the lead up to the workshops. So we give you detail, we give you a lot of material, videos to watch, articles to read, ebooks to reference, etc. And then when you come to the workshops, we cover the final 4 topics, 1 topic per workshop across the 4 workshops. All right. So that's essentially our mastermind. Again, these ones you pay for, $599. Extraordinary value, though. Of course, it's a lot of money for everybody, but the value is there, is my point. So, we have 5 masterminds in total, and each one of them is hand-selected as a topic of huge importance for leaders. So all of our programs, whether it's through the ET Academy, of course, ET stands for Executive Talent. So whether it's through the ET Academy, where we have our paid programs, or whether it's through the ET Project, which is our podcast, our live sessions that we do, like we're doing today, or our quarterly challenges, all of these are geared towards providing value for you as an executive talent and to help you grow and transition from where you are to where you want to get to as a dream, as your desired future. All right. So there are the 5 months that have been and now gone. So what's next? That's the big question. Where are we up to and what's coming? Well, the first thing to say is I'm going to have a rest, and our team is going to have not a rest really, but we're going to pause in terms of releasing new programs during the month of June. I'm actually going on a business trip at the part of the way through June, and I get back middle of July. So it gives us an opportunity to do some business outside of running the programs, to look at what else is coming on the horizon apart from just the programs. I mean, we're a coaching organization. We provide coaching one-on-one. We provide team coaching. We provide group coaching. So, it's also about developing the business, about growing our associates around the world, about establishing different partners in different locations. So, I've got to focus a little bit on the business from time to time. As much as I love facilitating our programs that we roll out, it's also about running the business. Okay, so no programs for June, but in July we're back with vengeance, and in July we're covering this topic called Executive Talent Launch. So this topic is for mid-level leaders. So if you remember, I said we have 3 tiers of talent coaching programs. The first one was the Excel in Essentials for Emerging Talent, 10-week program. We have the final masterclass coming up this afternoon, tonight. Okay. The second tier is for mid-level managers. You can see it on the screen, Executive Talent Launch. So at this stage, you're an executive talent. You're working as a mid-level leader, whether that's a department manager, whether that's functional manager, whatever you may be doing. But you're at that point in your career where you've been doing this for a while. You've got the foundational skills under control. You've implemented them. You've refined them. Now you're starting to look for what's next. And this is a 6-month program. You heard it, 6 months. So each month we cover a new topic cluster. So in the 10-week program, we cover 10 individual topics. In the 6-month program, we cover 6 individual topic clusters. And again, as I've said, this is intense. This is not for the faint of heart, but it's a great program. We will be launching this towards the end of July. As you can see, 6 steps to becoming elite. So this is launching those mid-level leaders towards the next transition in your career. Where is that? Well, that's to that senior executive level, right? And we cover some great topics. We look at 3 inner strengths. We look at 3 external strengths that you need to have in place. And as usual, it's not about just sitting back passively, idly. It's all about ensuring that you leave with an actionable blueprint. It's all about ensuring that we are beside you all the way, co-creating, partnering, and making sure that you're moving in the direction that you wish to. So, great program, kicks off in July. Let me just give you a little insight. I'm not going to cover too much, but let me just give you a little insight to what you can expect. Here's some of the content that you're going to receive. Now, this is not a cheap program, by the way. All right, you're going to get monthly one-on-one coaching. You're going to get monthly group coaching. You're going to attend 2-hour monthly workshops. You're going to have recorded webinars. You're going to have workbooks. You're going to have primer activities. You're going to have videos to watch. You're going to do a huge, and all of these things, all of these programs, by the way, you have access to our Mastermind.com platform that we use to work through sessions for each of the modules within each of the programs. So it's all done on our Mastermind.com platform, which is owned and run by Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins and their teams. They've built the Mastermind.com platform, so we use their platform, but we build our programs inside there. And here's just a sample of what you're going to receive. As you can see, there's a lot of material. You're going to do your own 360. Right? In actual fact, it's a version of 360. It's produced by DDI, the Global Leadership Organization. It's a snapshot report. It looks at where you are at this moment in time as a leader. What are some of the areas where you have gaps? You're going to do 2 career evaluations, one at the beginning of the 6 months, one at the end. You'll be you'll get a certificate at the end, of course. You get a lot of goodies, etc., etc. So that's what you can expect. In actual fact, most of our participants come through companies. As I said, it's not a cheap program, but you can, of course, enroll yourself if you wish, but most of the participants come through the organizations, and the organization sponsors them through this. So we'd love to see you. We keep it at a maximum of 15 people for the same reason. All of our coaching programs are maximum 15 people. We want to make sure that we're able to work. For instance, I'm going to coach every participant one-on-one. I say it's 15 people I'll be coaching every month, as well as collectively as a group every month. So that's, there's a lot of value comes out of this. All right, so that's what you can look forward to in this program that's coming out at end of July. I believe we kick off 26th of July. We'll start promoting it, of course, early in July. Then what have we got coming up? Well, we've got the next quarterly challenge. That's coming up in August. It's a 2-day challenge. It's called Learn 2 Key stages in achieving facilitation mastery. Now, if you're a leader, hopefully you realize that you need to be able to facilitate. You need to be able to present in front of a group. You need to be able to run and deliver training. You need to be able to lead events. Facilitation is something as a leader you must be able to do. Just like communication is a requirement, facilitation is a requirement. So we kick off, and remember, we stack these. So 2 days, this is our shortest challenge for the year, comes up in August. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but you can imagine we're going to give you huge value again. It's free unless you want to join as a VIP. You can join as a VIP, $59 US, but you can also do it for free. August. And that then leads us into the Mastermind, which is called Facilitation Mastery. And this is where we go deeper on a number of the core stages of becoming a professional facilitator. Yeah, you can imagine we talk about the preparation, the preparatory stage. We talk about the open, we talk about the body, we talk about the close, we talk about the follow-up. There's 5 core stages. Now, we go deep, of course. Now, one of the things I haven't mentioned so far is in the mastermind, we call it a mastermind because this is an opportunity for the collective genius to share your insights, not only to listen and learn, but to share your insights so that the collective genius comes through from the group, right? 20 people coming together, sharing what they've learned in their career so far. What are some of the challenges they've faced? We do hot seat coaching. Yes, you get the opportunity to bring your own challenge to the table in front of the other 19 participants and the coach, and receive coaching from the coach to talk about that challenge that you would like to present. Now, you get immediate feedback from the whole group. So imagine how beneficial that can be for driving you forward, for helping you transition, all right? So in addition, of course, you've got all the goodies. So remember, $5.99 is the price. You get the workbooks, you get the priming videos and ebooks, you get the pre-work, you get the post-work, you get the workshops, you get the follow-up. It's enormous, right? But it's so valuable compared to the price. Not undermining or understating the fact that it costs money, but you do get a lot of it. So that's in where we're up to September. So we've covered facilitation, and then we move into our 3rd tier, right? So remember, these are stacked. We started with emerging talent, looking at our Excel and the Essentials 10-week intensive program. We then went to executive talent launch program, 6 steps to elite, a 6-month program. And now here we are at this elite executive talent. This is a 12-month program. You can imagine how intense this program is, but it's intentional. Now we're preparing you at your level of being a senior executive to really move to that next level, or to do your current level even better. Now that next level may be C-suite. You may already be in C-suite. You may be a CEO. You may be on the board. It really depends on what you want to get out of it. But this is an intensive 12-month program. And so you can imagine, I hope, based on everything I've told you so far about the journey that we go on together during these 12 months. I have one lady in particular that I like to use as my testimonial. She's such a success story about the journey she's been on with me over the last few years. And she's gone from strength to strength to strength. And as a large result of some of the things she's encountered and done, we've tweaked and refined these programs. And we continue to do that with people. So you're on the journey together with us. You're not on the journey by yourself. So when you sign up for these intensive programs, it's not only about, okay, I'm going to be locked away now. Of course, you're still working during the day. So, this is the equivalent of an MBA program, if you like, in a specific area. All right. So there you have it. That's what we're covering in October. We launched that in October. Then in November, we come to our final quarterly challenge for this year, for the year. It's a 4-day challenge. It's all about sales and becoming the pinnacle or the epitome of the sales leader, the salesperson that you can be. We talk a lot about situational fluency in this program because it's so important and so few salespeople understand it. And so this will give you a great insight, free of charge, that you can really take away and turn around or maximize the value of your selling ability, whether you're a sales leader or if that's your ambition to move in that direction, or you just want to become better at selling. That's where you can get to. Again, free unless you want to do the VIP, which is an option, and go even deeper. It's a subject that I'm passionate about, subject I love, and hopefully the 4 days really creates enormous value and you'll get so much out of it. All right, so that's November. And then we move into December with the final mastermind for 2023. The final one is called the Change Lab. All of the things that we've been leading up to with this particular program, in that 12-month program, in the 6-month program, we talk about a thing called the Catalyst Leader. And the Catalyst Leader is something that I believe all leaders in the 21st century need to become. The Change Lab will really help you embody that, help you to understand it. If you're not already working on those 2 coaching programs, this will really help you understand. It'll also help you understand how to become the change champion, how to become more agile, more adaptable, etc. How to see from the business from the outside in, how to become future forward, future back, how to fail forward, how to fail fast. A whole raft of different things cover in this particular. So there we are at December. We round out the year with this fantastic topic. And of course, all things being equal, hopefully we've been a good boy and Santa might come visiting to the ET project team and to the ET Academy team and to our whole group at Coaching for Companies. It's a huge year, as you can see, a huge number of programs, but really loving the journey, really enjoying working with so many fantastic people. And at the end of it, of course, that's the reward in itself, is getting to see the growth of the people that we're working in parallel with. That we're co-creating their journey, their transformation, and partnering with them on that journey. So, there is no greater reward than that. That's my core value is contribution to other people. And this is living that fulfillment, living the dream, if you like, fulfilling my purpose. All right. So here's who we are. Coaching for companies. We have the ET project group. We look at podcasts. We do the weekly podcast. We do this bi-weekly live broadcast. We have the quarterly challenge. Then we have the ET Academy. We do virtual masterminds. We do transformational talent coaching programs. And the one that I haven't mentioned, where my head is blocking, so I tuck my head out of the way, called Destination Masterminds. You'll get to hear more about that next year. But it's really the pinnacle. It's where we go away together, select, hand-picked group of us go away together, and we spend a number of days together, working together, brainstorming, putting together a game plan for the future. And we do that. We intend to do that next year 3 times. And we're not just talking about going to a hotel. We're talking about going to an exotic location somewhere in the world, spending time together with like-minded people, really working towards our individual game plan that we want to put together with the support of those around us. You'll get to work together, you'll get to eat together, you'll get to play together during this destination mastermind and be able to tap into that collective genius. We'll have a special guest in each one. So there you have it. That's our package. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little short journey that I've taken you down. You've seen what we've covered so far. Any of you that have been through it know the value that we've provided. You see what's coming up. We still have a long way to go for the year. I'm happy to be where we are. I'm super happy with the results that I'm hearing about from those that have participated. I love the fact that we stay in contact. I love the fact that you join our Facebook alumni. I love the fact that we're all in this journey together. So with that, team, I would say thank you. And I look forward to July, where we kick off our next big transformational talent program called Executive Talent Launch. It's a 6-month program. It's intense. I'm hoping some of you will opt in for this journey. It's not cheap, but the value is definitely there. So with that, team, I'll say farewell. Thank you. Great talking with all of you, and look forward to connecting with even more of you in the near future. Bye for now.
So what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button below and click on the bell icon so I can pop up in your feed occasionally with a great tip for your ultimate growth.